Andrew and Elad, proud parents of twin boys Aiden and Ethan. I brought my boys over for a play date because as twin parents...
Did I lose one of my children? Oh, there you are.
We have a lot in common. The only difference between us is that the Trump administration is trying to strip their 3-year-old of American citizenship, simply because he has 2 dads. This is their story.
Please subscribe.
Hi.
Hi.
Oh, this is adult. I basically forced a play date on you, so
Yeah,
thank you.
okay.
And now we have 4 children under the age of 3 just playing alone. What could
backyard.
go wrong?
Yeah, right.
Our 22-year-old production assistant is watching them. Did you always want to have kids?
Yeah, we always knew.
Because we grew up at a time where there was no Modern Family, there was no Nate Berkus. So did you feel like you could have children?
No, I didn't. I mean, I always knew it was going to be a struggle.
He's singing a Hebrew song to us.
Beautiful.
That he learned at school.
When I came out to my parents, my mom told me it was hard for her to accept it. And later on, she said, my biggest fear was that you're not going to have kids, you're not going to have a family, and you'll die alone.
In 2010, Andrew and Elad got engaged. Elad is Israeli and Andrew is American, and at that time, same-sex marriage wasn't recognized in either country. So they moved to a place where it was, Canada, leaving everything behind just to be together.
Not too long after our wedding, I started kind of like saying, so how are we going to have kids? Let's look into it. So we did research and we found that surrogacy is the best option for us, and we just started the journey.
Ethan has your DNA.
Right.
Aiden has your DNA.
Right.
I didn't even know that was possible.
We didn't either.
Yeah.
Really?
The doctor said, I'm going to put the 2 highest quality embryos.
And coincidentally, it was
Those-
one from my DNA and the other from Andrew's DNA, but it
Right.
could have been any other way.
What a crazy blessing that one of them happens to have each of your DNA.
Right.
Yeah.
In 2016, same-sex marriage is legalized across the U.S., so Andrew and Elad can move with their newborns from Toronto back home.
What happens when you decide to move your family to the United States?
We had an appointment at the American consulate in Toronto to get American passports for them. As an American citizen, whether my children are born here or abroad, they are U.S. citizens as well.
She called us to the window, and then she asked us, so tell me, how did you conceive your family? Obviously, you know, we didn't do it ourselves, just the 2 of us. So we told her, we used a surrogate, and those are our kids as a result of surrogacy. And she's like, okay, do you know who is biologically related to Andrew, who's the American citizen? And then we were like, what's going on? Like, they're twins. They were born 4 minutes
I mean, we should
apart.
say too, like, we found out the biology of our children when they were born, and we had decided we weren't going to tell anybody. Only the 3 of us know, Elad, myself, and our surrogate.
Whose DNA is whose?
Right, and like, my mother didn't ask. And so for this woman at the window to start asking these really probing questions, things that my
Personal
own
questions.
mother wouldn't ask, and my mother is the most nosy person, I was just like, why are you asking me these questions? And then she proceeded to tell us how she would only award citizenship to the child that is biologically connected to me. Obviously, we were getting very upset. And he said, if we were a heterosexual couple and I was an Israeli female and our names are on both birth certificates, would you have asked these questions? Would a heterosexual couple get the same treatment that you're giving us right now? And she took pause and she said, it's up to my discretion.
It's not discretion, it's discrimination.
We felt discriminated against at that consulate. We felt like our children are not the same, and we felt like they are not equal to other children of American citizens.
Well, that's why your story resonated with me so much, is because I'm Canadian, my husband is an American citizen, we had twins, we got them both American citizenships like that, no
Right.
questions asked. The only difference between us is that you happen to be a same-sex couple.
Right.
I mean, these are both my sons. There's no difference between them. And the fact that my government is treating us this way, it was really hurtful. So we were asked to leave. It was awful. We got a letter in the mail 3 months later one big envelope, one small envelope, and the big envelope had Aiden's passport and congratulations, here's your son's citizenship. And then the small envelope was your son Ethan does not meet the criteria to be, I don't even know what the words were, to be a citizen.
Right.
And he's denied.
I can't even I can't even imagine what that feels like, because our whole goal is to make sure that our children are treated equally.
right.
And here's the government coming in and telling you and essentially your children, you're not equal.
It's very hurtful. It's
It's
really
awful,
hurtful.
yeah.
And I mean, that's a nightmare that began 2.5 years ago, and we're still living it.
Wanting to be closer to family, Andrew and Elad moved to the U.S. anyway. Their son Aiden with American citizenship, his twin brother Ethan with a 6-month tourist visa.
When we got here, it was very stressful. Like, this is expiring in 6 months. Who can knock on my door? Take my child away? Like, this is scary. Is my son gonna be snatched away from me and deported? My 1-year-old. Right.
How do you even begin to know what to do? There's no Law and Order or Suits episode about this. Like,
Right.
where did you start?
So we were starting to talk to anyone who would listen, and we got to hear about immigration equality.
And they
Meeting
deal with
us.
immigration issues for LGBT people.
And they heard our story, and they immediately said, "We will represent you pro bono. We will help you."
So this did get in front of a judge, and the judge ruled in our favor that the law is very clear. Ethan is a citizen at birth.
How did that feel at that time?
It was
It was
really a
amazing.
relief.
Ethan, the court decided you're a U.S. citizen at birth. We're so excited!
Then, on the last day of the appeal window, the government informed us that they're appealing the decision. So,
Wait a second. A federal judge says, this is wrong.
Right.
Ethan's getting his passport.
Correct.
And then the Trump administration,
The State
essentially, the
Department.
State Department, says, no.
Right.
We're taking it away.
right, they keep enforcing a discriminatory policy, even after a judge ruled in our favor. And so basically, they're trying to revoke Ethan's passport and citizenship right now.
Andrew and Elad are still waiting for their case to be tried in an appeals court. President Trump's State Department is still fighting to take away Ethan's passport. Ethan is 3.
No one knows what can happen, but what we do know is that no matter what happens, we are gonna keep fighting.
Yeah.
And that's the promise that we made to each other, and that's the promise we made Ethan, because I believe we will prevail at the end.
Yes.
So it will be a story with a happy ending. So, and that's how we're gonna tell it.
Yeah.
Guys, sorry. Just like, all children should be so lucky to have parents who are as loving as you are, who are as supportive as you are, who are willing to stand up and fight for them. So what you're doing is not just amazing for your own family, but for so many other families who are going to benefit from it. So
Thank you.
Jesse.
thank you.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Thank
Thank you.
That's really
Oh
sweet.
my God.